Welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I want to talk a little bit about the stupid prices of video games, retro games specifically, in 2023. And the reason why this topic kind of came to mind is I've been watching a lot of YouTubers recently, and, little things have been popping up about, certain websites selling video games at really high costs. And then there's also been videos about the causes of it and, why is the market like this? Where's it going? And so I just thought, let's just throw that out there and just have a little conversation about it. Because I know people like to talk about it, and a lot of people have their opinions as to what happened. I did a video response to RGT85's The Problem with Retro Gaming, and, that wasn't, the primary discussion was the cost or the inflation of the video games themselves, but more or less the people and the environment. But I got a lot of responses saying that they think that it was more based on the grading systems and the WADA grading. That I've seen a few videos on that, where they grade things, and my opinion on that is I personally don't really care about the grading process for anything. I mean, I have my collection of video games. I have my card games that I play. I used to be really into Magic the Gathering. I've kind of, just here and there dabbled in it. But I've seen grading on the cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! I play Yu-Gi-Oh! As well, the card game Yu-Gi-Oh! And same thing, I have some expensive cards that I once considered, maybe I should get it graded. Maybe it'll help the value of it. But at the same time, I thought, well, it's kind of silly. I mean, you're putting something into a piece of plastic that is meant to be played. And that's the way I looked at the video games as well. I mean, these things are games. Like, these things are meant to be played. You're supposed to buy these and put them in your Nintendo and play them. Not put them in a piece of plastic and put it on display. Now, as I say that, I mean, I got a display behind me. I have my Chase the Chuck Wagon, whatever it's called, it's a rare Atari game. I just got it in a little plastic baggie. But if I ever want to play it, I can do that. I can just pull it out of the baggie and play it. I'm not putting it there because it's valuable and I want to sell it one day. And I don't see the point of it. Some people are using it as a way to increase the value, so they could say, hey, look, the condition. But it's a video game. I mean, whether it's this is my Zelda 2 that I had for a long time. I bought this used. It's okay shape. I mean, it's not damaged or anything. But if it was, it would still be the same game, and I would still play it. It wouldn't matter to me. I got a lot of games that have really terrible looking labels. They're scratched up. They look awful. But they work. They function. So I just don't see the point of the grading system, other than just people trying to use it to make money. The other talk was whether people are just inflating the games because of they're watching the popular YouTubers talk about it. Lady Decade, a YouTuber, she did a video kind of on that, saying that that's kind of ridiculous that people think that way, that I'm only talking about these certain games so I can increase the value of it. And I kind of saw what she was saying. I'm like, yeah, I don't see why anybody would get into this for the sole purpose of, raising up prices just so they can make money off of it. It seems kind of silly. I mean, this whole industry is full of people who are mostly, I would hope, passionate about the industry. They're passionate about the games. They grew up playing the games. They want to play the games. I mean, that's why I do it. I mean, I started buying this stuff. Like, I bought a lot of these cartridges, like the Adventure for the Atari. I picked a lot of these up in the mid-90s from thrift shops for 99 cents because I wanted to play the games. I wanted my Atari. I wanted to play them. I love these games. These are all stuff that I wish I had when I was really young. And, I wanted to recapture my youth. So, I picked them up. I never looked at this as an investment in my future. This is not like, one day this is going to be worth money. And it's kind of funny that when, things like the movie Ready Player One, where it features this game and the Easter egg and all that stuff, and people were like automatically thinking, now this is going to be worth money. I mean, come on, it's not. It's a video game that was released in the masses. There's a lot of them out there. Nobody's going to look at this as a lot of money. But on the flip side, when you go into certain stores, like retro gaming stores, or maybe not even just retro gaming stores, just like pawn shops or I went to an event, the Fan Expo that's in Toronto. I remember going there in the summertime, and I saw, I don't know if it was Adventure, or I think it was Pac-Man actually, for the Atari, and they wanted like $15-20 for a loose cartridge, and I was like, what are you thinking? Like, these things, even though I can't pick these up for 99 cents anymore, they're still not worth $15-20. I mean, the really rare ones maybe, but like games like Hero, you're not going to find it for $5. But within reason, these things are very, very common, and you could still find them in most flea markets that have retro gaming places. They're going to sell these for like what they're actually worth. But whatever. And then there's also the nostalgia thing. A lot of these things hit the market. Things that are like, I'm seeing them all over the place. I've been seeing them for a while now. Repackaging of classic titles like Pac-Man and Q*bert and Defender. All these arcade titles. And they're putting them on these, systems, like even AtGames, making these types of products. Where they're literally just emulation devices, and they're putting big price tags on it because they know people are going to pay for it. But that's just, in a lot of cases, this is like meant for the consumer who wants to relive those days of playing Pac-Man, but doesn't have all this crap that I have behind me. So they buy something like this, and it kind of, it just kind of scratches that itch. That's what these are for. That's what I think they were for. That's why they make them. Not because I'm going to buy it and it's going to be worth money one day, and I should slap on a big price tag and say, this is Pac-Man, you should pay a lot of money for it. Even the flashback devices, like, it's crazy to me, and I did a video about this a long time ago, talking about how the flashbacks are selling on eBay for $100, $200 for an emulation, a plastic emulation device that's not even the actual, most cases, not even the actual games that they're playing. They're like often emulated, or they're the wrong version of it, and then they want all this ridiculous money because of what, nostalgia, because it has the name Atari on it. Like, that doesn't necessarily make it gold. But yeah, so and then of course there is the homebrew selections, which kind of keep bringing the nostalgia back, and the retro games, in a sense, back to the market in newer forms. And of course, people complain about the prices of those. Like, for instance, I got my Keystone Cops game here. This was one that I put out through Intellivision Revolution. And, people sometimes complain, like, why is it so expensive? Why is it like, I believe the ticket price on this thing was $65 US for a new game for an old system. And of course, for things like these are labors of love. These are not created to make somebody rich. We all work hard to put something like this together, and it's put together by hand, typically by, a few people who do it for the love of the game, who want this to get out there. And it does cost money. It costs a lot of money, especially when you're a small production. So it does make sense that, it should be sold at that kind of a price. There's always ROMs that could be available later on for download, but, if you want a physical product like that, which is going to be a limited product, obviously you're going to have to pay a little bit more. And, it's not too far off from when these games originally were sold at that price. If you think about modern games today, Nintendo, for instance, to get a brand new Switch game that just comes out, you're going to be paying $80, $90. Even for the download, they charge you the same amount of money, which, that's another thing all on its own. I don't want to get into that, but that sometimes bugs the crap out of me, that the download costs the same as the physical copy, if you want to call them physical copies anymore. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there. There's a lot of theories going around as to why the cost is going up. Obviously, it's old. The older things get, the more scarce they get, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're valuable. It doesn't mean that they're worth money. Old doesn't always mean, lucrative. And like I've said, like games like E.T. on the Atari, like everybody was going ape crazy over when they found these in the desert, and it was all of a sudden in the news and it was in the media, and then people are like, oh, I'm going to grab my copy of ET and I'm going to stick a $15 price tag on it or a $25 price tag on it because now everybody wants ET. You got to look and judge for yourself. And in fact, RGT85 just did a video. I just watched it now. He was talking about a video game store overinflating the prices. So, you know, it's up to the consumer. If you're going to pay $50 for an ET cartridge, that's on you. I mean, you got to take that 5-10 minutes, go on eBay, go on wherever, pricecharting.com, go on all these websites, go on the forums, go on the Atari Age forums, go on the Facebook group. Take that little bit of research time to ask people, hey, how much is an Atari ET cartridge worth? And people are going to be like, $5. You know, so if you're at a vendor and they want 15, 20, 30, you got to do that little bit of research. And I know I've been not scammed, but I fell for it before. At a flea market, I bought an Atari game for like $25, and then I realized later on that I way overpaid for it, way overpaid. But then I also realized that this booth that they were doing the same thing. They hyperinflated everything, looked on eBay, looked for the highest prices, and you know, I felt stupid after that. But you know, I learned my lesson. I have a $5 game that I paid like $25 for, but you know, that's the way the world works. I learned a lesson, and I'll probably, hopefully, never do that again. Anyways, yeah, enough of my rambling about this. I want to hear your thoughts on the subject. It's a fun topic that comes up. A lot of people talk about it now, and they've always have been. We're always going to be talking about it, especially with the inflation, especially when it costs me lots of money just to buy a potato. I mean, come on. Anyways, let's hear what you have to say. Throw some comments down below. Hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.